Hello, everyone. So today we have Rhea Aboud. She's a co-founder of a marketplace for gifting in Lebanon. And actually, she did a very big step. She started as a startup, and now she has a very well set up marketplace. So we're having today Rhea to talk more about her experience and to share more advices and tips with everyone, so that we can benefit from her expertise and for what worked or not with her as well. So Rhea, I know that you have a story behind your business. So
Yes.
I think it will be good for everyone to know more about that. If you can tell us how you started the online business and why you did, and
Sure.
why you had this challenge to do a total switch in your career, because I know you did. So feel free to tell us your story, and we can start later on with the technical part.
Sure. Thank you, Elvira. And hello, everyone, again. And thank you for joining us today for our session about e-marketplaces. So as Elvira told you, I'm the founder of an online gifting service in Lebanon, where actually customers can create an online gifting registry and share it with their family and friends so they can get the gift that they really need. And why did I decide to go online? Actually, it came out of a personal need with my kids who used to receive plenty of unnecessary gifts. And that's why I decided to create an online registry service to make gifting more useful and valuable. Now, given the fact that for an online registry to be useful, the customer may need actually to add different products from different stores and vendors, we decided to create an e-marketplace instead of a regular e-commerce website. And we're going to see during this session what is an e-marketplace in particular.
Yeah, actually, not everyone knows about that we have online store and we have e-marketplace. So I think it will be very interesting for everyone to understand the difference and how to sell on marketplace, or how to sell on an online website, personal or corporate online website. So
Absolutely.
I think we can start with the
I
definition.
will be sharing my screen. Yes, okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So let's first see what are the digital sales channels that are available for any business. Actually, there are 4 ways to sell online. You can either have your e-commerce website, or you can choose to go as a second channel on an online marketplace. Here you can think, for example, about Amazon or Alibaba. These are the big names internationally. You can also sell online through your social media channels, and I guess lots of businesses are actually using social media channels. And also you can use your chat apps like WhatsApp, for instance, to do business with your customers. So today we're going to focus and talk mainly about online marketplaces, what we call the e-marketplaces. For you to know, e-marketplaces sales will account for 50% of all worldwide business-to-customer e-commerce sales over the next few years. And this figure tells us that it is really important for you to consider marketplaces as a channel for your business. Now, what is an e-marketplace? Think of it as if it is Amazon, because Amazon is one of the first and the biggest marketplaces internationally. So it's a platform where buyers and third-party sellers can conduct e-commerce over the internet. So this is the basic definition. So it's a modern way of your traditional bricks and mortar department store. Instead of going to a traditional physical store, now you would type www.amazon.com. So Amazon, for instance, will connect millions of buyers with sellers that are located around the world. And as a business, being on a marketplace will help you increase the visibility of your products or your services. We're going to see there are also marketplaces for services, not only for products. And the marketplace will allow actually to list multiple vendors who operate their own online stores and to do their listings on the marketplace. So as a user, as a customer, you will be able to compare different pricing for different products supplied by different suppliers. Now, the third-party companies will be able then to sell their products and services. And we have two types of marketplaces, what we call the B2C, the business to customer, and the business to business. And we'll show you some examples also during the presentation. Now, what happens is that all your online transactions will be processed through the marketplace online. So the marketplace will have itself a payment gateway. And as a seller, you don't need to worry about or to think about acquiring a third-party payment gateway. So as a seller, as we said, you will have the opportunity to showcase your product or your services, and therefore you will be able to reach a larger target audience. And as a buyer, we also said that you can browse different products, you can compare the prices in different locations, and it will all be done through the same platform, which is the marketplace. So if you look at a company website, this is definitely not a marketplace, like, for example, adidas.fr. And if a department store, bricks and mortar, today decides to go online, he will be surely selling multiple brands on the website, but it's still not an e-marketplace. And if an online store sells multiple brands on its website, it's still not a marketplace. What differentiates and what makes a marketplace unique is that it gives you, as a seller, the facility and the possibility to have a third-party individual or business account from where you can log into your account as a seller, and there you register, you log in, and you can actually manage your products, your inventory, your prices, and your content. And this is what makes the marketplace definition unique. Now, when should I consider using a marketplace? Usually for a business, it's always good to consider this channel as a business digital channel. It's useful if you want to do some market research to assess the demand and the popularity of your products. Instead of starting investing in your website, you can actually display your products on the marketplace and test if there is an appetite in the market for your products. It's also useful to test a new service or to launch a new product or a service. If you want simply to scale up your online sales, you already have maybe your physical store, your online store, and now you want to make more sales, you would consider an e-marketplace. And this is also useful to have like a diversified portfolio of online sales channels. And usually we also see a lot of businesses using marketplaces when they want to enter a new market. Assuming that today I'm interested in entering the US market and I'm based in Jordan or Egypt or anywhere else, I can use Amazon.com as a marketplace, as an entry to the US market. And definitely it's a solution for those businesses who do not have enough budget or do not have the expertise to develop a full e-commerce and functional website. So this is why we actually encourage businesses to consider e-marketplaces as a digital channel.
So Rhea, actually you mentioned a bit of advantages, but talking about that, what are the challenges? Especially for the big marketplaces, we know that it is not easy to be listed and it is not easy to go there. So can you tell us more about that?
It is actually challenging to get accepted on a marketplace, depending on the marketplaces. And once accepted, what is even more challenging is to get visibility in the marketplace. So, but before we go into, let's say, the hard challenges, let's talk a little bit more about the advantages. So usually when you go on a marketplace, it's a fast process. It's easy to set up. As we said, you can have access to millions of customers because the customers who come to a marketplace, they are already in a buying mood. They already trust the marketplace that they are visiting. And definitely in a marketplace, you have a higher search engine optimization ranking because the marketplace has been working on their SEO, what we call the SEO, for years. So compared to your own e-commerce website, Amazon will surely have a higher ranking. And this is why when you type on Google, let's say, toys for a boy, you would see Amazon at the first, and you would hardly see your own website listed at first in your Google search. And these are one of the advantages for considering marketplaces for your business. Definitely, as we said, it's a low startup cost and upfront investment. So you can run it quickly and with low cost. And you reduce all the hassle of having all the e-commerce services to handle, like the shipping, the return, the storage, the fulfillment, and so on. And definitely, when you are considering going to a new market, this will remove the complexity of a multiple currency or a foreign currency that you're not used to actually deal with. The marketplace would have it set for you, and you don't need to think about all that. So this is when it comes to the advantage. Now, as we said, there are also challenges that come with these opportunities. Mostly, it is very challenging to gain visibility. We have tried, for instance, opening a store on Etsy. Etsy is also a very well-known international marketplace. And we were actually having very much difficulty in being visible, in getting visibility on the marketplace. And we ended up closing the store. So it can be like a very difficult experience. But the thing is, you need to understand what is the algorithm of the marketplace. You need to work on your content. You need to work on your keywords. And also, the biggest challenge also we see with businesses is when you need to actually manage your own e-commerce and also your listing on a marketplace. Some businesses forget that they need to go to the back end and do updates to their inventory, or if they have changes in their prices. And it's also very important to have very good reviews. It's also very important to avoid being blacklisted. And competition is very harsh. Competition is very harsh. There are millions of sellers on marketplaces. And this is why it's not enough to list. You need also to market for your products that are listed on a marketplace. And when it comes to the registration, it can be actually very difficult to get accepted, and you need to be very compliant with the requirements of the marketplace. So this is it when it comes to the challenges. Quite a lot of challenges, Elvira.
Yeah, actually, yes. So talking about that, still, we should still consider marketplaces as a main sales channels or not?
Yes,
because
definitely.
we talked. Yeah, so let us know why. Because
yes.
Talking about challenging, everyone is thinking that, if it is so hard to do, so maybe I need to avoid it. So let's talk about the positive side of e-marketplaces.
Sure. It is as if you were telling me that also running my e-commerce website is challenging. Let me not be online. And we have seen during the COVID-19 pandemic that being online and using different sales channels will only actually help you to increase your visibility on the net. So yes, you need to do it, but the thing is that you need to do it the right way. As I said, you need to have the right content, you need to work on your keywords, you need to market for your products or services. Now, also these marketplaces, as we said, offer us a lot of services. You don't need to go into the hassle of all the logistics of the e-commerce. Here, I will show you, for instance, what are the services that you get from a marketplace, whether it's domestic or international. When I say domestic, it's your local marketplace in your own country. So in your local marketplace, you can always list your products or services. You can have access to your basket where you can add to cart. You will have also access to the different payment methods that the marketplace has already acquired. The tax is already also taken care of by the marketplace, and most of the marketplaces do actually manage the customer service. And they do it actually to be able to still keep the data of their customers and do the marketing and the retargeting techniques they usually use. And similarly, when you are on an international marketplace, you actually have the same services, but here we add to it the multi-language service and the multi-currency service. And you also have the local language basket. One second, please. Sorry for the interruption. And you have multi-currency local payment gateway. It's not only in your own currency, but also in the currency of the marketplace that is international. Usually it's multi-currency, and you have local sales tax and local language customer service. If you want to go, let's say, to the UK, but you don't really master talking to your customers in English, the marketplace do it on your behalf. So this is why we encourage you to go for a marketplace. Also, marketplaces will offer you after-sales services, meaning they will fulfill your order, they deliver your products, and they handle the returns process, which is costly, and it's also a hassle most of the time. And as we said, they provide the customer support, which is very much time-consuming for a business to handle. And the same applies for any international marketplace you would consider.
So Rhea, I am seeing now that we have domestic and we have international marketplaces. So what is the difference and how to register on both of them? And do the costs differ from one to other, or it is similar cost? So if you can tell us more about the difference between local domestic marketplaces, regional, and the big international marketplaces.
Yes, sure. Actually, the main difference is in the visibility you would get and in the reach you would get. When considering a local marketplace, your visibility, your reach will remain local. And when you look into international marketplaces, here you are going to a larger audience at an international level. Now, I will show you some of the international marketplaces. And here, just to share with you that there are over 400 business to consumer online marketplaces, and this number is expected to be growing, and also B2B marketplaces is a growing number. So this shows you the importance of such channels as sales channels. Now, looking at the international providers, here I put the 4 biggest, if you want, like Etsy, Amazon, eBay, Frugo, and then you can see by region some other big marketplaces like Jumia in Africa, like Flipkart in India, and so on, Mercado in South America. And also, these are what we call the business-to-consumer e-marketplaces. And also, we have what we call the business-to-business e-marketplaces. This is where you would, as a business, be selling in a wholesale, like in a bigger quantity. You may have heard about Amazon Business or Alibaba or Trade India, Europages, and so on, and TradeKey, which is also an international B2B marketplace. Now, when it comes to the services, there are also marketplaces for services. The ones that are maybe well known are Uber for taking a ride, Airbnb for tourism and travel, Audible, BlaBlaCar, and so on. So here you will be actually selling your service instead of selling a product. And how would I register on the marketplace? Usually there are 2 ways to do it. The first one is through the platform itself. When you go under a marketplace, try to look in the footer or maybe in the header, it depends, where they will mention become a seller. And by clicking on become a seller, you would fill in a form, and then the marketplace will come back to you and will either it will ask for additional information or it will tell you that you are accepted on that marketplace. Another way to do it, depending on the marketplaces, is by sending an email to their contact email, where you would present yourself, you would present your business. It's very important to attach your product or your service, your catalog, to also talk about your company, what's your process, who is the team, showcase the founder, the history, the story of your company. It's very important to tell your story. You need also to add your website link, any social media links you may have to show what you really are, what you really do. And definitely you need to explain your interest in joining the marketplace. Why am I considering joining Etsy? Etsy actually doesn't work through an email, but in other marketplaces, where there is no become a seller or a link through the marketplace, it's very important to elaborate on your business. Now, as you know, most emails can go into junk. So it's very important that you follow up after like 10 days or 2 weeks by another email to ask about your request. So these are the two main ways to register through a marketplace. Now, when talking about the cost, it is definitely costly. There is a cost, but it's not that costly, I mean. Let's look at the different costs. First, when you want to join a marketplace, there may be joining fees to the marketplace. And these costs differ by marketplace. Each marketplace may have its different cost structure or pricing, let's say, structure, pricing to you as a business owner or a seller. Some marketplaces would require a membership fee that you may need to pay on a monthly or an annual basis. In some marketplaces like Etsy, for instance, there is a fixed listing fee where for each product you list, there is like 30 cents you need to pay for your product listing. And then most of them will have a transaction commission averaging 15%. It can go up to 25, 30, or 40, depending on the product, the category of the product, and the choice of the marketplace. There are also fees related to your payment. It can be either a fixed fee or a transaction fee. There is also a fee related to the currency conversion when you are dealing with different currencies. And definitely the biggest cost that you need to account for, that most businesses that we work with forget to account for, is the marketing side. Like, it's good to list your products, but you should not expect having sales if you don't really market for your product. So there are payments like payment per click. You can also do some promotions. You can do discounts depending on the events that are happening around the year. So these are all the costs that you need to consider in your pricing structure to make sure that you are accounting for these in your price structure to make sure you are keeping your margins. So this is what I was saying. When considering your margins, look at your listing fees. You may need also to pay some fees related to the translation in case you are using a different language. You may also need to have a multilingual customer support. You may need to look into your labels, your packaging. You need to make sure you are compliant and you have the right certifications. This is more actually related to when you are considering international marketplaces where some requirements will be needed for you to be compliant to enter that market. Definitely, we need to also account for the taxes, for the tariffs, for the currency fluctuations. And also, when you consider international marketplaces, keep in mind that you will have to account for your international delivery cost. International delivery is actually related to delivering the product and then also accounting for the returns in case the customers want to return their products. And definitely, if you are looking into gifting, then you need to consider your packaging and your gifting packaging. So mainly, these are the main costs that you need to account for in your margins.
So Rhea, actually, I want to ask you more about, I don't know, what is the difference in general, between having a social media store, between having a website or be listed on marketplace. So what are your tips? What are your advices for businesses? What you see will work for small business, for a startup, and what you see that it is too early for small businesses to go on that way. So I think having you today, it's good to share this expertise, because I know that you started as a small startup and you grow and expanded. So now you have your entity, and you have plans to expand regionally as well. So let us know from perspective of a startup and a small business, especially from developing country like MENA region, Africa, what will be the best way to start this e-commerce activity and to start selling on marketplace?
Sure. So the first thing, you need to start. It's not easy actually to decide that that's it, I'm gonna jump into that adventure. It is an adventure, but it's the same way as considering like jumping into your e-commerce store. But the thing is, you need to do it the right way. Otherwise, you will not be able to gain visibility. And this applies for any channel you consider.
But can I ask you, what is the right way? Because for me, if I am a small business and I am producer of handicraft items, now telling me that you need to start in a right way, it will be like telling me something in Chinese.
Yes.
So I think it should be more simple.
Definitely. I will go through some tips and advices that are very practical. Yeah. But also before we dive into that, I just want to highlight the importance of content when you consider any online business. Because as you know, an online consumer doesn't touch, doesn't feel the product, or doesn't even know what is your service. This is why we stress a lot on the importance of content, whether it is the content related to your product that describes your product or your service, and also the content related to your company. Who is your team? How do you work? Where are you located? How they can reach out to you, and so on. So content remains king, that's for sure, in any digital channel you may choose. Now, when it comes to e-marketplaces, I will share with you some tips and advices that I learned actually throughout the journey. So as I said, it's not enough for me to list a product or a service. You can wait for a long time and you will not maybe see your first sale coming, because actually these marketplaces are very competitive and you need to do a marketing effort and you need to run ads, simply run ads that drive your people to your mini site or your website under the marketplace. We call it a mini site because it's like you have a URL in the marketplace dedicated for your business. And also, since we are talking about a learning curve, I advise you to start local in your country. Start by looking at what are the marketplaces available in your own country, so you have this opportunity to learn and do mistakes without having to incur the high cost of going internationally. And once you understand how it works locally, then you can be more sure of yourself and be ready to go at a regional or international marketplace. And it's also very important when you want to choose a marketplace to understand how it functions, because marketplaces also differ in the way they function, in their terms, in their conditions, in their payments, the way they handle logistics, and so on. So it's very important to understand the dynamic of the marketplace. And as I said, content will remain king. So work on your product descriptions, your product photography. It's very important that you have very good photos for your products and to talk about yourself, your company, and so on. Also, it's very important to document your agreement with the marketplace. And this mainly applies for the local marketplaces, because sometimes you may want to work with the marketplace who doesn't actually have elaborate terms and conditions. So here, if they don't have elaborate terms and conditions, make sure you do your own agreement. So you set the rules, you understand what are the roles and responsibilities of each party. And if they already have their terms and conditions listed on the marketplace, read them carefully and read all the policies related to their shipping or return or customer service and so on. And also it's very important to read about their compliance requirements, because if you do a mistake, and you don't comply with their compliance requirements, you may be blacklisted, and out of the sudden, you may lose access to your website. And as we said, it's very important for us to understand the costs. I have listed all the costs possible to consider. Then only make sure you are accounting for these costs in your pricing structure, so you make sure you're not selling without making a profit. And also make sure that your prices are competitive in the marketplace, especially when you're considering an international marketplace. It is very important for you, before jumping into that, to look at the pricing of your products in the destination market to make sure you are having and remaining competitive in terms of your pricing. And here are some other tips I would like to share with you. Now, when you actually deal with your own e-commerce, or if you have a physical store, then you will be dealing with different stock inventories and so on. What I advise you to do is, especially if you deal with different marketplaces, is to create a kind of an Excel sheet or a Google sheet where you would list your products, you will list your inventory and your prices, and share this regularly, like on a monthly basis, with the marketplaces you deal with. In this way, you don't forget that you have actually an account on Etsy or Amazon. You may have been run out of stock and you forget to update your inventory. And when you sell, for instance, a product that is out of stock, that will reduce actually your rating on the marketplace. This is why I told you it's very important also to read the requirements and the compliance requirements of the marketplace. Also, it's very important when you deal with local marketplaces to ask about the marketplace. Who is the team? What does the marketplace do? Who are the founders? What is the reputation? Ask other businesses who have been working with them, how it has been going on with the marketplace. Look at their social media networks so you can see how much followers they have, how much reputation they have. If you can look at the reviews they have. It's very important not to follow your gut. It's not enough to follow your gut. Always try to do your research and to understand more about the marketplace, especially when it is related to a local marketplace. Definitely, we're not gonna do research for Amazon or Etsy. These are very well-known international marketplaces, and we will be lucky if we can actually list our products and sell through these marketplaces. But this applies more to local providers. Also, what you can do is to test, simply try to buy a product through the marketplace or chat with the marketplace through their chat or customer service online, and then you can see how much they are responsive, how much they are present, and how they deal with their customers. And also, my last advice would be to be doubtful when they are over-promising you. If you are meeting with a marketplace owner and he actually promises or she promises that by being in their marketplace, you will be making lots of sales and I don't know what, then be very doubtful. The reason is not because they are actually not telling you the truth, but the reason is because marketplaces, as we said, are very competitive. And in order to be able to sell on a marketplace, you need actually to do your own effort as a business owner on top of the other efforts that are being done by the marketplace, because the marketplace has tons and hundreds and millions of sellers. And by the time your turn comes, it's already too late for you. So this is the last advice I would like to leave you with. And hopefully it was actually beneficial for you, the tips and advices that I'm giving you out of my my personal experience in the field.
So Rhea, I think we should have some questions. So please
Sure.
unmute yourself and you can ask Rhea your question directly.
Let me check in the chat. Is there any question in the chat?
We have questions concerning the recording. So yes, the recording will be under the event. So you can access the past events and this event, and you will see the recording on YouTube.
Okay.
So any questions?
Don't be shy, okay? You can ask any question, even if you feel that maybe it's not the best question. Has anyone has anyone tried going on a marketplace, would like to share his experience?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Rhea. Thank you for a very informative session. I am Madhumita from India. So lovely hearing you. My question is regarding the fact that I am presently exporting, but then I want to enlist myself as a brand in my country as of now. So for that matter, I just want to ask you, you have listed the tentative costs of the pricing that we should consider while listing our products. So is there a thumb rule as to this percentage is ideal, or this percentage is what we should actually keep apart from the costing of the product into putting it up on the marketplace? Say, for example, adding up another 25% or 30%, because I have been talking to a lot of marketplaces and their range varies from 25 to 50%. That's a huge markup. So I know if I'm doing exclusive kind of niche products and I would want to make my products accessible to the market, but I can't really have 25 to 30% added on to it as a markup for the marketplace itself. So is there any thumb rule to go by? Thank you.
Sure. So actually, when it comes to pricing, you can decide, and it's not it's a common practice actually to price differently when you go into a foreign marketplace. Let's say you're selling your product in your local market at $50 US. And then when taking into consideration your international shipping cost and the custom and duty that you need to incur and other charges that the marketplace will be charging you, it is okay to say that instead of pricing at $50, let's say I want to price at $60, assuming that these $10 will account for these differences in the cost price. So this is the first thing. The second thing that you can do, and I think, Elvira, we can share it in the chat. The ITC has a tool that is named the cost calculator tool, where you can actually simulate how much you should price your product after you enter in that tool your costs, and after you choose which marketplace you are considering to use. I think there is Etsy, for instance, Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a very useful tool where you can do several simulations. And the third advice to give you when it comes to pricing is to look at how much your products or similar products to yours are being priced in a foreign market. Because as we said, you may want to charge $50 in your country, but you may easily be able to sell the same item in a foreign market at $60, depending on how much the competition is also pricing similar products. So there is no one formula, let's say, okay, I want to add 20%, 30%. No, it depends on the marketplace you are considering, on the fees of that marketplace, on the product category you are considering, on the competition as well. Now, if you see that even when accounting for the marketplace margin, which, as you said, can go between 15% to 45% sometimes, if you see that after accounting for that transaction margin, you are unable to compete with your product or service price in a given market, then it is okay to say that maybe it's not the right channel for me. So it is okay to say that I cannot afford working with this marketplace, because it may be a waste of time for you to actually price higher than the market and not being able to sell. I hope I answered your concern.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Any other question, or maybe sharing an expertise or example? Maybe if someone already has a store on any of marketplaces, known marketplaces, and they can share their experience with the marketplace, what they recommend as well through their experience, that would be good as well.
Yes, sure. Or maybe if you are considering using a marketplace, you can share your thoughts about it.
Hi.
I think, yeah.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me tell you my experience. I had been trying to sell, okay, I had made some sales already. I participate in Etsy. Now I am trying to set up my store in Amazon. I would like just to try and know how it works. I have just one question comes to my mind. How I bring customers to review what they buy, because for me it's really disappointing sometimes. Yes, I have sales, but none of them has done anything to review my product. And I know how important is this for when one in marketplace sales. Because I send with my products, I send this thank you card, and even I ask to them, please help me to grow, review my products. But until now, I don't get nothing. Then which strategy do you think could I use to get customers to say something?
Okay, so if I understood you well, you are already sending a thank you card and you encourage them in the card to provide you with reviews, right?
Yeah, exactly. To say, oh, very nice product, or I like it, I don't like it, whatever. But
yes. And after you make the sale, do you try to contact your customers?
No, never, because I think that, okay, I am in Germany actually. And I think that is like, I don't know, privacy maybe, because I think it's not so politically correct to contact customers like from nothing. I don't know.
Actually, what we see businesses doing is actually contacting your customer after the fact. Like after they do the sale, you can contact them to ask them if they were happy with your product, and you can gently ask them to leave a review. And this is actually people, you would be surprised to see that people like to encourage a business when they are happy with the service and the product. So I highly encourage you to try it. It may work, and because it worked for other businesses, to actually ask for such reviews. Now, what you can also do, maybe, but then it depends also on the market you are considering, is to give some incentive for the reviews you may get, like, please leave us a review, and for your next purchase, you may have a gift or you may have a discount. But this is not what we recommend for doing at first, because usually reviews should come organically without being connected to an incentive.
Yeah.
So mostly by being just following up, you can follow up, say, I would like to know if you are happy with the product, with the service. I would be grateful if you can leave us a review, because this will help us. And try this, and I'm sure you will get more reviews than you do now, because people like to encourage small and other businesses.
Okay, thank you very much. By the way, your conference, they are nice, very nice. Okay,
thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm happy to hear that.
Okay.
I think, Rima, you raised your hand.
Yes, hello, how are you, Rhea?
Hello, Rima. I'm
Long
good,
time.
thank you.
We were meeting today in the morning.
Only the morning.
And it's really, by chance, I was checking my mail and I saw that you have a webinar today. So I jumped in directly because you always have an added value. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you. My pleasure.
But I actually wanted to, hi, Elvira, again. I wanted to check first, and I'm sure you know that, but just to add something from previous experience, that there are people that that they can handle, this is their job, the marketing on the platforms. For example, in Amazon, you have people that are specialized in handling the account, and for example, there are people that check your competition, and based on your competition, they can increase your viewing for the customers, potential customers. So probably later on, if the small businesses want to invest more, they can hire people to manage their account on the platforms. This will be really better for them as well. I just wanted to add.
Yes, it's very true. Because when you are overwhelmed with running your business and managing multiple channels, you may need someone dedicated to logging into your account, making the updates for your prices, your inventory, handling the customer inquiries, and so on. Definitely. And this also applies for your social media channels, for your own e-commerce website. Definitely. Thank you, Rima, for your intervention.
Always welcome.
Thank you, Rima. Rhea, we have a question as well in the chat from Amina. She is asking that she has a new account on Jumia, but she is not having any sales yet. And she is asking for tips on how to increase sales or improve the account. So if you can give some advices, especially that we are talking about regional marketplace, which is much more easier than international one.
So a question for you, Amina. Did you try to market for your product that are listed in the marketplace? Did you run ads? I'm not sure if you can hear me, Amina, but anyways, I will answer your question. What I recommend you do is to simply consider your marketplace as your own e-commerce website. Like if you open and you do a very beautiful online e-commerce website and you don't market for that website, it's like you have opened a physical store, but you didn't tell people that you are existing. So what you need to do is to actually run ads campaigns that drive the customer to your product listing in the marketplace. And also you can reach out to the marketplace. I'm not sure about Jumia, how they function, but sometimes you can also pay for the marketplace and the marketplace will run and will boost your ads on your behalf. And this will help also in increasing your visibility. Yes, definitely. It is very early to judge after 1 month. It's not enough 1 month, especially if you didn't do any advertisement efforts. And it's also very important, as I mentioned before, to make sure that you are pricing your products or your service in a competitive manner. Go on Jumia and search for similar products that are listed on Jumia and see what are the prices. And then you can compare to see if your prices are competitive and that are appealing to your end customers. Because customers nowadays are very sensitive to the price. So these are the things you can do, and this can help you surely. You're welcome, Amina.
Any other questions?
I think, Elvira, you wanted to run a poll. I'm not sure if you did that.
Yeah, actually, I'm not able to do it. So for some reason. So if we don't have, we have someone. Please unmute yourself, Shabana, and if you can ask your question directly to Rhea.
Shabana, can you hear us?
Seems we lost him. So if we don't have any questions.
The poll is there on my screen. I'm not sure if it's
on your screen. Okay. Okay. So because it's not displayed on my screen.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, and I have a small problem when if I create a website also for international presence also, how to boost our visitors to our e-commerce and other product website organically, according to your experience.
Hello. Do you listen?
Okay. Okay, I think we had a question about increasing organic sales into an e-commerce website, if I understood you well. Well, when it comes to organic, yes, organic is actually a long-term process. It's a long-term, if I say, strategy. So when we say we want to drive traffic organically to our website, it means that we want people to come to our website without actually paying for paid ads through social media or other channels. And in order to do so, you have actually to work on your content and on your keywords, because search engines mainly, they look and they function by keyword, meaning that, let's say you are selling a phone. Now you need to do a research to see what are the keywords that people are using on Google search, for instance, to find that phone. And there are tools also that we recommend you to use, like SEMrush and other tools, where you can research for the best keywords in your industry. There is also a tool called the Google Keyword Planner, where you can also look at your industry, you find the keywords, and then you use these keywords in your product titles, your product content. You can also rename your images using those keywords. And all these, this use of keywords will actually help you to increase your visibility on search engines. This is actually one of the techniques we use for organic reach. There are other like tools and techniques, but this is the most used one, if I may say. And the same applies for a marketplace. Also in a marketplace, you can drive the traffic to your mini site through organic use of relevant and useful keywords and meaningful keywords.
My other question is, according to your experience, how to boost my e-commerce website rapidly without organic?
Now, if you don't want to go organically, because organic will take some time definitely to happen, the best way to do it is to go through paid advertisements through your social media like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. You have to see in the market where you are operating what are the famous and most used social media networks. And you can also do Google ads, paid ads, where you go to Google Ads and you pay for your ads. And this way, when people search for a topic that is related to your product or your service, Google will show them your ad in the top ranking in the first page. These are the main two, if I may say, paid channels online to drive traffic to your website. And then definitely there are other techniques that are related to email marketing, meaning that, let's say today you have a customer who made the first purchase, you get his email. What you can do is to gather all the emails you have and do what we call email marketing using tools like MailChimp or other tools. And this way you will be sending emails with content, with product, with ads. And this will help also to drive traffic back to your website. And email marketing is not costly. You just need to subscribe or to do the integration with the email marketing service provider and your website. And then you can have your email marketing campaign running with little costs.
Thank you,
Okay,
Rhea.
right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Rhea, we actually have another question from Shabana. So if you can unmute yourself and ask your question to Rhea.
I have a small question because there are so many my friends also asking me. Reason is, for example, if we want to promote a product, some people create their own e-commerce site. Some people trying to sell on like that Amazon, eBay also. Is it? Are there any facilities to increase Amazon product according to your experience?
I'm not sure I heard you well, but I think you were saying that there are some people who use their online e-commerce and then some people use Amazon or other marketplaces. And you are asking how you can increase your sales using Amazon. Is this your question, if I understood you well?
Yeah.
Yes, so actually, this is what we are advising you to do for any marketplace, still applies on Amazon. So first, I keep on saying that content is very important. When you are trying to sell a product on a marketplace, you need to work on the right content. You need to show the best products, photos that you can have. You need to write the right titles with the right keywords. You need to elaborate on your product description. You need to also talk about your company. So you need to handle first your content part, be sure that you are compliant in terms of content recommendations. This is first. Second, you need to look into your pricing and make sure, as I said to Amina, that you are pricing in a competitive manner because people on a marketplace can easily compare the prices of similar products. And this is what made actually marketplaces very famous and very much used across internationally. This is the feature where actually by being just sitting in front of your computer, you can compare prices of different vendors for same product very easily. So you need to make sure you are pricing your product in a competitive manner. And third thing, you need actually to run, and I say it again, advertisements. You need to run ads to your store. You need to do some kind of promotions when there are events like Black Friday or like end of year events and so on. And by doing promotions, you can encourage customers to come to your product, to your store and do a purchase. Some businesses use what we do, like a bundling, like buy two, get one for free. There are such techniques that you can also use in the marketplace to increase your visibility. And as any other social or digital channel, the way to drive traffic would be through running ads on your social media. You can also consider using influencers. Influencers can promote your products and drive traffic to your product detail page and your store on Amazon and so on.
Okay, right. Thank you very much.
So, can I speak?
Yes, please.
Hello. Yes, I'm Shabana Asif from Pakistan. How do I search for market in Europe or international for export in bulk? If ITC have any platform, they share as contacts, or if ITC have any app that we register there, our companies to buy my buyers or sell my products in bulk or export there.
So I think you are asking about selling your products in bulk, right?
Yeah.
So you need to do a business-to-business transaction.
Okay.
I'm not sure, Elvira, if we have a tool for that in particular, but what you can do is to search for marketplaces that do business to business. I have shown you some of them in the different regions. Like for instance, you have Alibaba, AliExpress, they do business to business. You have Amazon Business, they do business to business. And this is the most efficient way to do selling by bulk if you are considering marketplaces.
I know the Alibaba and Amazon, but I want to this confirm. I only sell myself. यानी कि I for sell not the channel of Alibaba or Amazon. I some product sale in my market directly. If any continuity or connected facility in ITC platform or your platform, then inform us, please.
Yeah, actually, what you can do, you can check. I post now the export potential tool. So you can identify the export markets for your kind of products. For example, you are talking about textiles. So you can identify through the tool, the potential markets where there is a demand for this kind of products. And based on that, you can research particularly in this country, in this market, which marketplaces are available to do it online through B2B platforms. Or maybe you can check if they have any kind of portals as well to support the B2B activities, offline or online. As well as if we are talking about B2B, maybe it will be good for you to consider the fair trades, the online and physical one, especially that I know that your country is known for this kind of products. So maybe you can start checking for the Pakistan producers where there will be an opportunity to export. So starting from this activity, you can define later on if you will do it online or offline. But maybe it's the first step. It's to define where you can find buyers, and then based on that, check the platforms, check if it will be through online, offline, fair trades, because everything depends on the country and the region. So we have this buyer perspective. In some countries, the online B2B, it's very well done and people are used to do B2B online. In some countries, it's better to have it both online and offline. And in other countries, the tradition is to have this offline communication, so you can contact the potential buyers, you can send them some materials, promotional materials, some catalogs, and try to reach them through email, and later on maybe to have more communications. So it's all depends on your market research and where your potential buyers are located. So based on that, you can have your export strategy and then looking on online or offline activities.
Thank you.
I would like to add, if you want to actually estimate your shipping cost, I think there is a part you were asking about estimation of the cost. What you can do is to contact the shipping suppliers that you have in your country when considering international shipments, and then they can provide you with quotations based on the nature of your product, the weight of the product, and so on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I further do that platform. Okay, thank you.
Sure. I think we have a question in the chat. Does these techniques apply in marketing services fully locally and internationally? Yes, the techniques I mentioned apply in your local markets and in your international markets. Like whether we're talking about running ads through social media or doing email marketing or using Google paid ads, it's going to be the same technique that you will be using, whether you are considering a local market or an international market. And I think Elvira is sharing some other tools in the chat. There is a tool called the Trade Map tool. This is where actually you can see the map of your product. When you want to ship a product or to sell a product from a given country to another country, you can see what are the tariffs, the regulations, the requirements, and all such requirements. And there is also a tool where you can see, I'm not sure if this is the trade map or the market access map. Actually, the market access map tool will help you to see what are the requirements for entering a given market. And the trade map tool will give you some information about the volume of trade in a given, for a given product at international level. So these are the three main tools, and the export potential tool is the one that Elvira talked about, where for your given country you can see what are the destination markets where there is a potential for your product to sell. So we encourage you to register and have access to these tools. And I think also at ITC regularly there are like webinars that are being delivered to explain more about the use of these tools.
Yeah, actually on YouTube, if you search for the tools, you can see some tutorials as well on how to use the tools and how to do the research. So they will be useful for you as a start. You can try them as well to identify the potential market, the potential products. Do we have any other questions? So Rhea, thanks a lot. Actually, we plan to have 45 minutes, so we have an hour addition. So I think the topic is very interesting, and the questions today, actually, they are very interesting and very important. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your
It's my pleasure.
For all the information.
And thank you for all the questions we had and the interaction.
Yeah, exactly. And if anyone has any question in particular for Rhea, you can find her LinkedIn on the Ecom Connect. So you can contact her directly if you need an advice or tip on her LinkedIn account. I'm sure she will be glad to reply.
Definitely. Don't hesitate. Anything you want anytime, you can reach me out.
Thank you, Rhea.
Thank you, Elvira. Thank you, everyone. And have a nice evening.